Good Sunday evening, everybody in the kingdom and elsewhere who will be tuning in to take a look at what goes on with us tonight. This is King's Club Baccarat for the professional player. This is professional play designed to earn an income for life for you by playing every day or every other day, whatever schedule that you have, and by playing according to the guidelines that we have of least possible risk and the solid gain designed on what is your goal for each day. This is what we call a bespoke algorithm, a general algorithm that lays out everything, but a bespoke algorithm that would be designed entirely for you and specifically for each individual person. We're all different. We all have different needs, different goals, different styles, and this is put together in a way that it can be crafted to your particular game and deliver the results. The best possible way to do that is have high bankroll, low risk betting, and a expected income to you that meets your needs. So that's how we write it. That's how we do it. And we're going to welcome in everybody. That's all of our friends that are here. And any guests that come in, say hello. It'd be nice to hear from everybody. But you don't have to say anything. You can just watch on your own as what unfolds tonight. What we're going to do tonight is we're going to play a way that we're going to use tomorrow at the Rivers Casino in live play. And we'll see how that works out because you just never know with the game. The cards do what the cards do. Hey, Joseph Gorecki, Trish Graves, good evening. Friends here, and Don M55, welcome. Paul O'Brien from Terre Haute, welcome to you. Mr. Ritter, I will see you tomorrow. Charlie Mace. Oh, you sent an email. I don't remember seeing it, Charlie. Resend it because it may have gone into spam or I might not have seen it. I don't like it when I miss an email. Please resend it to me or send it to me in a text. Either way. KC Steve is in Cody, Wyoming. Oh my goodness gracious, you are up there, buddy. I hope the weather's good. It's a very, very treacherous kind of place to be, but maybe since it's March, maybe you're coming out of it, but man, even in March and April, you can get weather up there. Gil Rary, good evening. Charlie Mace, thank you very much for doing that. So it's a Michael Steinfeld. Yeah, saying hello, everybody out here. Um, so it's a 250-mile drive to the Rivers Casino that I'll be making tomorrow morning to meet and greet with all those who make that trip up there. It's a $15 minimum table, so we're going to go with a plan of a small profit off of a $15 minimum bet that escalates quickly under the 13711. And I do want to clarify, or maybe just further stipulate, we've never lost. The basis of our game is a Joey Knish game, a grind out the money every day based on what your needs are. And the Joey Knish style is what we want to do. The Joey Knish style, though, is based on winning one unit. And so you want to be eventually playing in a way that a one unit win is enough for you to be done for the day. And so that requires a larger unit bet because if your goal is $100 a day, then your unit is $100. So are you going to play $100, $300, $700, $1,100, $1,700? The escalation is fast under this aggressive betting sequence, but of course you can use a D'Alembert and start with $200. Or rather, start if your Joy Knish goal is 100, you start with $100 on a $25 table. And if you were to lose at 100, you could go up another 100 for your second bet in a D'Alembert way. But we're going to talk about each individual person with me working with each of you that wants a bespoke algorithm for your particular goals. Tonight we're playing a $15 and we are playing to win $150. And so that's what we're going to go to. We're going to try to turn this 33,800,000 to 33,800,150. If we can do that, that's what we're going to try to do. And we're going to play our sequence of playing the banker in banker optimal position, banker optimal conditions. And so that's what we're going to start right now. And we're going to show it. The reason that I would say this is not the utmost way to play is because right away you're going to have to win 10 units. In the Joy Knish style, you only have to win one. That's what makes it what it is. If you have to win one unit, then you're in a very strong position to do this professionally for the rest of your life. But for many, or rather I should say most, you're left with playing a smaller bet and having to win multiple times. That's why I'm showing it this way. But ultimately, I would simply sit down here and bet the $100 and use it in a D'Alembert way and try to win the one unit. The one unit's $100. You grind it out Joy Knish style, and you got a net $36,000 a year. Or if you play it twice a day, you got a net $72,000 a year. And this is a side hustle profession. And so 72,000 a year is enough. It's more than enough to grind out what you need. It keeps you below the radar of the casino's eyes, and particularly if you can visit multiple casinos. But we want to deliver it in a way that it is a selection backed up by a bet sequence, that the two marry together and give you a chance to get your money. And we add in the patience and the discipline to make it a 4-tenant algorithm. And that's how we do it. John Radway, welcome. Good evening. So we want to get ourselves a single banker win to begin with our first $15 bet. And we're going to see, can we make a little bit of money tonight? Even though it is risky, it's always risky when you want to win a whole lot of units. So we're watching now. We're waiting for a single banker win. A freshly shuffled shoe. There is a win. So we bet $15. And our opening bet on the banker, we will go 4 deep. That has its own risks, but that's what we will do. With that win of $14, which is 15 less the commission, now we are waiting. It's got to go over to the player and then come back to the banker. Any streak on a banker here wouldn't matter to us. Any streak on a player doesn't matter to us. It has to go to player, come back to a single banker to trigger another bet for us. We're up $14. And now we're going to try to make another bet on the banker. And we are at the beginning. The first bet in the sequence is $15. And now you can see we're up 28. That's 2 wins of $15 minus the 5% commission. So we're up $28 right now. We're going to try to get at or around $150 profit in this show tonight. Now that's a streaking banker. Again, we don't have any play here. We're playing this at the optimal position for banker to win. It doesn't mean it's going to win every time. It doesn't mean it's not going to lose 4 straight times. It very well could. This is a streak banker, but it doesn't matter. We're not continuing to chase that. There's a turnover to the player. And does a banker win? Now, if I were to tell you, based on what I'm looking at now, this is a vulnerable banker time because actuarially you can see that we have out there 7 bankers and 2 players. And we're betting that we're going to get a banker in the next 4 hands win. We very well could get 4 straight players. And if we do, we lose 4 straight times. But this is not the optimal opportunity, but we're going to stay with it because that's what we do when we're taking this risk in the actuarial manner. This is a $15 banker bet, and we'll escalate accordingly. And there's the loss that I told you was predictable right there. So the next bet is a $45 bet. It's a 3-unit bet. There is the $45 bet, 15 times 3. We go 1, 3, 7, 11, 17, 23, 31. The second in the sequence bet. And now we have to go to the third. Not to reiterate, but I said this was a vulnerable time of what we were doing. And there's the 3 losses. Here is the fourth bet. I hate to say I predicted this, but of course I did. We were sitting here talking about it. This was a vulnerable time because it's an actuarial game. And there's the 4 losses, just as I said was very possible right there. So we're gonna sit out right now. We're not gonna bet then. Now, very likely the banker will win this time, but we're not gonna continue that chase down the hole. We lost 4 straight. There is the no bet. And like I say, we demonstrate exactly how this game is played and how it comes out no matter what. The simulation is played the same way the shoe is. So there is the win. If we had played it, there's the win. We're going to come right back in right now because we have a single banker win again. And the bet is $255, showing it just the way it is. Fifth loss in a row. This is the second in the sequence of this round. Sixth loss in a row. This happens because it can happen. This next bet is $465. Maybe I get buried on the night before I go to Rivers. It's very possible that could happen. Okay, with that win, we're at 465. We had lost we'd lost 6 straight hands. So now we're gonna have to have it flip back over and come back. We had a $465. I'll continue to play it just the way it's supposed to be played. Take the wins, take the loss, just the way it is. We get to choose the streaks. We get to choose the chops. This shoe thus far is a little bit streaky with a couple of chops in the middle. Cannon does happen, John. You're exactly right. That's what I said. I don't sugarcoat anything. We see exactly what goes on in this game. And so now we have a new bet. We just won at 465. We dropped down 1 sequence to 345, and we see can we get a win here. But we're still going to do the same thing. We're going to go 4 sequences no matter what happens here because we're going to play it straight by the rules. So now we're gonna make the adjustment because we have climbed back in. Now after losing 6 straight, we are now down $32. That's what we're down, and so we're going to make we're done betting this time because we won this bet after having lost that one time. We came back and we won this bet. And so that was the 365. We lost the 15, the 45, the 105, the 165, and the 255 and the 345 bets. That's 6 in a row. Then we won the 465 and we won the 345. So we lost 6 straight, we won 2. So we've won 2 hands out of the last 8. And the betting sequence has put us in a situation where we're only down $32 after losing 6 straight. That's why the bet is so strong, but you have to persist and stay with it. So I'm going to adjust to the next bet for a security manner. Let me see if that's what that is. Yeah, that's 3 straight bankers. So we don't have a bet yet. The trigger bet is a single banker win. Well, Bill, I don't know what you're talking about because you can see that it's 868. That's 132, right? Thank you very much. We're down 132, and we got to wait for a single banker win. But we're going to adjust the bet, Bill, because we try to be as safe as we can. You can throw caution to the wind, like the next bet would be 255, and we probably would do that. But as it is here, we've got the single banker there Thanks, Bill, for joining. So we're down 132, just like Bill said. And so what I would bet here is 165. That's the fourth bet in the sequence. And we will ride from there, depending on the outcome. We've only won 2 out of the last 8 hands. That's a 255 bet. Okay, so now checking back with Bill, we're down $55, right, Bill? Okay, so we wait on the next bet around because now we've won 3 out of 10, 3 out of our last 10 bets. And of course, that happens. We went from a sequence of streaks into a sequence of chops, but it didn't really matter to us. We were able to get a couple of wins anyway. So we're at a $55 deficit right now. We'll wait to get back over, and I'm going to begin with another bet. There is the player win. Player streaks twice. But this is where I'm talking about you, in this game that we're playing, you got to win a whole bunch of units, and that does put you in a challenging position. You want to be able to have to get up 1 unit to get your money. Okay, so we're going to bet 165 because we're down 55. Well, we're down $55, right? So we can bet 105. So let's bet 105 on the banker here in a position to try to get a win. And there it is. So it's settling a little bit. I mean, we're still winning at about a 35%, but a 35% win total does give you a $45 profit. So we're up $45 after having won about 35% of the hands, and we have lost 65% of the hands. So we wait now for a single banker win to try to continue our pursuit of a $150 profit tonight. And the streaking banker continues. My relationship with Bill has always been one that's really fascinating, but just like he said there, attaboy, he's probably one of the most fair guys out there. Thank you, Bill. Okay, so the streaking banker switched over to the player there, finally. And the player gets a couple of wins. We're up $45. We've still got work to do because we're not pushing on the 1 unit. See, if we're pushing on the 1 unit win, well, we're up 3 units right now. And so you would already have your money. And by all means, if you're playing this for your livelihood and you're up $45, you're perfectly allowed to quit. And if you're playing $25 units, you're up $75. If you're playing $100 units, you're up $300. So it's whatever you are playing and whatever you are satisfied with is your goal for the day, and you continue there. So we're going to begin another bet right now at the base bet, because I don't mind the show going a little bit longer because I want to show it Joey Knish style. This is the $15 bet on the banker. And then it goes to a $45 bet after a loss, which is the second bet in our sequence using a $15 baseline bet. We've lost 2 straight. We go to 105. And that tie is a repeat of the 105 bet. Okay, now this is the magic of the sequence. We bet 1 unit $15 and we lost. We bet 3 units, $45, and we lost. That puts us down 4 units. Then we bet 7 units, and we won, which means this sequence won 3 units minus commission. 3 units is $45, so this sequence was plus $45 minus commission, even though we only won 1 out of the 3 hands. That's the beauty of the game. Yes, you still have to win some, but even at a 33% win ratio for the entire night played this way, you would be plus 3 units on every sequence, which is what you saw there. Now you're up $85. We're up $85. We're back out of it again, waiting on a flip over to the player and then a return to a single banker, which is the optimal position. So I think that's a single banker win. Nope, we got a 3 streak. When you don't have the big road right in front of you, you gotta go back and look at it. If you're sitting at the table, the big road's right in front of you, but also you're tracking it with your own notes. Don't just trust that the casino's gonna post it correctly. They might post it incorrectly, not trying to trick you, but just because it's a normal mistake that a dealer makes. The dealer might push the wrong button. And so always have your own notes with your own tracking of exactly what's happening. There are 4 bankers in a row here. We know the simulator doesn't make a mistake, but the human element of a dealer at the table does sometimes post it incorrectly. And these ties. There's a player win. And there's a banker win. So we have a $15 bet back to the first sequence. In the last sequence, we bet 15 and lost. We bet 45 and lost. And we bet 105 and won. We went on the third bet of the sequence, which is the optimal bet, because if you lose the 3 and you win the fourth, because we haven't adjusted the fourth sequence yet, the fourth sequence is a get even less commission. We recognize what's going on there, and we continue to do our tests to determine what we do on that bet. With that win, we're up $99. If you feel like you've had enough for the day, $99 more than the casino has when you walk out. Nothing feels better than leaving the casino with more money than you went in with. Bill will tell you that from his own experience. Leaving the casino with more money than you went in with. The person at the slot machine who hits the $5,000 jackpot and gets their picture taken and gets it put on the wall is only worth something if they left with 5,000 more than they walked in with. Most of the time when they win a $5,000 jackpot, they've already put 1,000 in the machine, so they're up 4,000. And most of the time, what do? They continue playing, and that $5,000 win becomes a loss, and they go home with no money, even though they won a $5,000 jackpot. Those doggone slot machines, most ridiculous thing. It's like a predictable place for the casino to make money. That's exactly right, John. You can, but one of the problems with that is sometimes it ends up being a little confrontational, and so the dealer will feel like he's getting ratted out to the pit boss, and you want the dealer to be friendly and happy. And so it's almost better just to keep your notes, know what it really is, and just let it be as it is. But you're correct, and a lot of times you can do it kind of friendly, like, "Hey, I think that last hand was a player one, not a banker," and he'll look up and he'll think about it and he'll just switch the board. But you'd like to do it without elevating it to bring the pit boss over. Let's call it out. Let's get some bad paper putting on this dealer for making a mistake. So it kind of depends on your relationship with the dealer there. If you can do it kind of like on the down low, but you're right. And the dealer will oftentimes realize the mistake and just make a quick fix to it. Okay, we've got a banker win, so we're going to have a $15 banker bet. And that's always one of the downsides to it. The banker's got the money in the pocket, and he has to take a hit because of the rules. He has to take a card, and it reduces him back to a tie when he had the win in hand. So that happens. So we're going to rebet here after that tie. And he didn't have to take a card there, or he could have been reduced there. You notice the chances of getting an improved card or improved hand is based on where you are. A lot of times having 0, 1, or 2 is a lot better chance of improving your hand because you have more cards that will improve your number than if you have a 4, 5, or 6. Well, you have limited amounts of cards that will improve your hand and a whole lot of them that will hurt your hand. No, the pit boss is not needed. That's right, John. The pit boss is not needed, but sometimes the dealer will call on the pit boss if they're unsure, or if the pit boss hears there's some discussion, he'll come over. But yes, you're right. It doesn't require it at all. Okay, so we're up $113. We got 108 cards left to go in this shoe. Banker is streaking now, I believe. I think that's 2 bankers. Could be 3. Let's look and see. Oh, it's 4. When the big road's hidden from you, I wish they could put the big road like up in a frame up here in the right, even like in a smaller way, but so that you wouldn't have to go back and forth. But it's better to look at it and be sure. We switched over to the player. Now he has 2 wins, but we're not betting. It takes a single banker for us to bet. There it is. Whoops. That's the point. He's sitting there with that 6, and he had to take a hit because of the 3-card decision when the player drew a 6. That forces the banker to take a card, and the banker's 6 then gets reduced by the 4, which makes it a 0 hand. Three wins by the player, but we were just watching. We're not betting there. There's the banker win. Here's the bet, $15 on the banker, first bet of the sequence. We're playing $15 units tonight, and the push gets a rebet. Now the good guys are up $127, and we're down to 70 cards in the shoe. There's a player win. And a banker win. To flip back and forth right there does put us back on a banker bet right now. A banker bet of up to 4 bets are in the sequence. The first 3 would yield profits of 1 unit, 2 units, or 3 units. And then if you're pushed to the 4th unit, you're going to, and win, you're still going to be a little short because of the way the commission comes out. But right now we got the first bet sequence, $15 on the banker. And with that loss, we go to the second bet, which is $45. Whoops, 45 king, come on. Got to be precise. Even at the table, you have to be precise. Lost 2 in a row. Here's the 105 bet. See if we're digging ourselves a hole again. 105 on the banker. Oh my goodness, what happened? We won a bet in there somewhere. We won a bet and I didn't even realize it. I'm sorry. I thought that was a tie. It was a tie, then a win. Tie, then banker win with natural. It slipped by me as I was running my yap. Thanks, Chuck. I'm going to have Chuck with me tomorrow to say, hey, dummy, you won a hand. Okay, so now we have to wait for it to come back over to banker, and thankfully we didn't lose this next bet before we squeezed the trigger, but perhaps this would have been a win. You never know how it's going to work out, but we need to go back over to a banker to get one more bet in here. We're down to the end of the shoe. Yep, there you go. We'd have won the 105, Chuck. Okay, so we got a $15 bet here on the banker, and we're getting low on cards. And with that 9-9 push, And we got a $45 bet, as this might be our last bet. I'm not going to do another shuffle and continue this game on all night long, but we have a $45 bet right here. And naturally, the player wins with a 9-8. So I've got one more chance here. We'll make the 105 bet, and we'll close it here. And win or lose, we'll close it here. You get the general drift of what's happening. So there is the 105 bet, probably the last hand. And we happen to win it, but you often win the third hand. And the third hand is the optimal hand to win because you win a positive of 3 in the sequence. And as you see, and Bill will get a kick out of this, of course, naturally, we happen to win the magical $150 on the last hand. Now that's king style right there. You can't predict that kind of stuff. But you see, overall in this shoe, we won. I was tracking it. We won about 35% of our hands, and we lost about 65%. But the betting sequence and playing in the optimal time for the banker, less the commissions, yielded us the $150 profit. And so we made the profit tonight. I'm going to be heading to the Rivers tomorrow, and we'll tell you how that works out, whether it works out with us making the money or whether it works out in a shambles. But either way, I'm going to have Chuck Ritter and King John and maybe a couple of others there that are going to be helping us out, and we're going to have some fun and get together with some fellowship amongst the kingdom. And there you go. Thanks, John. I look forward to it. Hope so. I'm going to try to get there around 11 o'clock at the Rivers as well, 11 o'clock noon, kind of depending on what goes on that highway and cutting through Chicago toward the west side, because I've got to go the full breadth of across Chicago to get over there by O'Hare. But thanks, Casey, Steve. We want to show it exactly the way it is, but I do want to end by saying the weakness of what you saw tonight is that we're not playing for the 1-unit win. We're playing for about a 8-unit win, a 9-unit win, and that really puts you in a tough spot. When you're playing professionally, and I'm doing this way because most of us have to play the baccarat at the smallest unit of bet. And when I go back out to Vegas, I'm going to be playing it this way, because when you're playing at the small unit of bet with a large bankroll, you can sustain through the losses, just as we did. We had 6 straight losses tonight. And I'm glad it happened that way, because you do have those times. But if you were playing for the 1-unit win, we would have been done during the first 4 bets. And that's why optimally you want to have a very large bankroll so you can play for a 1-unit bet. You want to narrow as many things out of this, what you're facing in a casino. It is indeed the toughest road game in the world. There's never been a road game like this. You're playing in their house and they want your money and they're going to get it. And so even the simulation comes out exactly like they do at the table. It's a tough place to play. And so I never do sugarcoat anything. I tell you it's a tough thing. But if you were playing for the 1 unit, let's say I was playing for a $15 profit, and that was enough for me today. I'm casually playing. I'm winning $15 a day. You can do it easily, just like we did. You won it in the first 4 bets. And so we'll play it this way. We'll continue to understand that I'm taking a larger risk because of the fact that we usually have to play at the smaller units. So let's continue it on. I'll be reporting how everything goes in Chicago. I've got friends up there, and I saw something earlier. Oh, God, yeah, yes, I hear you, John. Thank you very much, Trish. I wanted to go back. I had a comment back here. That's right. Paul O'Brien, the tipping, or as they say it, they call it in the business, toking. If you toke the dealer, if you tip the dealer, a modest tip is, you're not in a restaurant. You don't have to tip 20% or even 10%. A modest tip is fine. And it's usually because, listen, 90%, 95% of the people that play at a casino lose. And so you're going to be tipping even in spite of losing. And I never believe in tipping if you had a bad session. So if you have a good session, you make your goal as expected. A modest tip is plenty, because they also do it community style. All the tips go into one pot and get split up at the end of the week. And so you're never going to be a big hero with the dealer, and it's never going to yield you anything anyway. But being a responsible person and giving a small tip, just like Paul is pointing out here, he does over there at the Terre Haute Casino. Always, I'm always a toker too. I probably put a little bit more than I should, but you don't have to make a big tip. So thanks to everybody for joining tonight. And the King will be in the Rivers Casino tomorrow, and we'll see how it goes. But we're going up there. We'll have a sufficient bankroll, and we'll see can we get the cards to agree with us tomorrow. And I got a lot of good friends there, and so thanks to Chuck for telling me tonight. Hey, by the way, Bozo, you won the last hand. All right, the Kings thanks all of you for joining tonight. This is Professional Baccarat, designed for side hustle play to make you a winner every day for the rest of your life. And whoever drifted in tonight and saw it, if you make sure that you have the bankroll, if you make sure you have the discipline to stay the course and to do it, to play it right, you're going to make the money all the time, the same way we do here tonight, even when there's a couple of stub toes, and we will pursue them from there. And Wild Bill, thanks for joining tonight. You know I miss you, Wild Bill. I want you here, buddy. Thanks for joining tonight. And to all of you, God bless you all. And I will be back with you on Tuesday night, and I'll give you a report. We might do a live report, maybe even from the Rivers tomorrow, and let you get a look at the good-looking fellows that are there, and I'll stand beside them and try not to make it look too bad. So we're going to get together tomorrow. I'm going to make that trek up there to Chicago to the Rivers Casino by O'Hare Airport. God bless you all. I'll see you tomorrow and Tuesday night.